Welcome to our first flipped lesson. You will be writing these notes down in your math composition notebook. If at any point in time I go too fast, hit pause. When you're ready to move on, resume the play button. So please write down in your notebook 3.2 writing expressions. Just a reminder, an expression is something that contains a number. It also can contain an operation like plus, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. It also can contain a variable, and here's my coefficient, and my variable I'm going to use is x. So that is an algebraic expression. In order to understand and write algebraic expressions, we need to know and understand all these key phrases. So go ahead and pause the video and copy down this chart into your notebook. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and write down a side note, and we can go over that. So take your time. Write these down. When you're ready, go ahead and hit resume. So copy this down into your notebook. This is example 1, A and B, writing expressions. So how can I write 24 less than 100 as an algebraic expression? So I want 24 less than 100. So I want to take 100 and take away 24. So that is the correct way to write this. I should not write 24 minus 100 because I want 24 less than my 100. My next one, I have the quotient of 6 and 3. If I've forgotten what the word is, I might look up quotient. I know quotient is division, and then I write the numbers the way I see them. So I have the 6 first, and then the 3. So the quotient of 6 and 3 is written in that form. Go ahead, write that in your notes. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video. Here's example 2. So write this in your notebook. So we're going to write the phrase, I want 8 less than twice a number. So I'm going to break this into smaller parts. I want 8 less than. So I know I need to take 8 away from something. So I'm going to take away 8 from something. And that something is twice a number. So twice, and my a number is a variable, I like to use x. So this is how I would write that phrase, 8 less than twice a number. So I have 8 less than twice a number. Here's another example. I have 10 more than, so I have 10 more than the product, again if I can't remember what the words are, I might want to look them up, the product of 5 times a number. So here's 5, and I kind of tell you the product is to multiply, so times x. So here I have 10 more than the product of 5 times a number. Again, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and write those down on the side. I don't expect you to be perfect at this. That is why we're going to do some practice problems. Now you're going to go ahead and try this one on your own. So you're going to write the sum of 18 and a number. You should see a text box on the right where you're going to insert your answer so that I can see what you're doing. But you do need to write this down in your notebook, so this should be in your notebook. I should see this with your answer. And then you're going to also type that into the computer, please. Here you have another one for on your own. So again, you're going to write this in your notebook, B. You don't need to write the title again. We already wrote that title. So you're going to write that in your notebook, and then you should see a text box on the right. So you're going to insert that answer so that I can make sure that we're progressing in the right direction. Again, I have another one for on your own. So you're going to write this part in your notebook. We already have the title. You're going to solve that, and you should see your text box on the right to go ahead and insert your answer. And again, one last one. So I should see this part in your notebook with your answer, and then you're going to insert your answer into the text box on the right. So you might want to pause the video now to write down this example. So we're going to work with some word problems as well. So pause the video, write this down, and then I'm going to ask you to underline or highlight certain parts of it. Alright, so you should have this written in your notebook. So I need to write this as an expression. So it says the number of students in the science club is 4 more than twice the number of students in the math club. Okay, so I have science club is 4, and I have math club is 4 more than twice the number of students in the math club. My thing says to let M be the number of students in math, so we could use S for science. Write an expression to find the number of students in the science club. Okay, so what I need to know is I have 4 more than twice the number of students in the math club in my science club. So this is how I would write that expression. Again, don't worry if you're not perfect at this, that's why we're going to be practicing some more problems. Here's another example, so go ahead, pause the video, copy this down into your notebook. When you're ready, you can hit resume so then we can talk about this. Okay, so now that this is written in your notebook, example 4, a bamboo shoot is 4 inches tall. During its growing season, it grows 3 inches a day. So we know that our bamboo is starting at 4 inches, and we know for every day it's going to grow 3 inches. So I'm going to make a table that shows the height of bamboo for 4 days. So what was the height of the bamboo on day 0? Well, we know it starts as 4 inches, so I'm going to plug that in. Then I know day 1, my bamboo was 4 inches plus 3 inches times my 1 day. So that is going to equal 7 inches. So day 2, we know we started at 4 inches. We know it goes 3 inches every day, and we know we're at 2 days. So now I have 4 plus 6 equals 10. My next one, I'm at 3 days, so I'm taking my 4 days plus my 3 inches per day times my number of days, which was 3. So now I have 9 plus 4, which is 13. On day 4, remember I start at 4 inches, 3 inches per day. I've been growing for 4 days, so 3 times 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16 inches. So go ahead, copy that in your notes, and again, we're going to go over some more practice problems. So if you look back at what you just did, how could we write an equation to show this? Well, we know every time we had a 4, plus we added to that, the bamboo grew 3 inches per day. So that's our algebraic expression to represent what we just did. Now I want to extend what I know. So I want to know, gosh, what is the height after 14 days? My chart only went to 4 days, but I can calculate this by plugging in 14 for my D. So remember my equation was 4 plus 3 times D, because that's my number of days. So now I'm just going to plug that in. I have 4 plus 3 times 14. What is 3 times 14? I'm going to do a little side math over here. So here's my 14 times 3. So 12, 42. So it's 4 plus 42. So my answer is 46 inches. Notice my work, again, is in my upside down triangle. I just couldn't fit it on my screen. But that's how I should see it in your notebook. So again, you're going to do some on your own, so you might want to pause the video while you write this down in your notebook. So your friend has 5 more than twice as many game tokens as your sister. So look at your numbers. So let T be the number of game tokens your sister has. I want you to write an expression for the number of game tokens your friend has. So to do this, I underline the important information and try to think about, gosh, what is the question I'm trying to answer? So just try your best. Again, I'm not looking for a perfect answer, but you should see a text box on the right that you can put your answer in. If you really have no idea how to solve it, just try. You know you have to incorporate a 5. You know you have to have twice as many as somebody else. I should see some sort of answer in your notebook and in the text box on the right. Again, we can go over these tomorrow during class. So you have one last screen with a text box on the right. What do you really need help with? What do I need help with? Do I need help with the word problems? What do I need more practice? And if I'm good to go, just say I'm good to go. I will see you tomorrow during class.